Been walking through the Navy Exchange and wonder why all the Naval Pride and Heritage gear is horrifically ugly and you wouldn't actually wear it. Have you ever wanted some really cool gear and you just don't know where to go? Well, I got you, fam. Go to dgutspodcast.com immediately. Get yourself some Naval Pride and Heritage gear you'll actually wear in public. We're working on new designs all the time, open to ideas. We're trying to create a brand that lets you display that pride but doesn't make you cringe. Also, if you're willing to and you're able to, please go to patreon.com/dgutspodcast, pick one of the 5 tiers and become a patron today.
What's up, everybody? Let's spin some yarn. Sorry I'm late this week. Life and stuff. I put an alternator in my truck and I feel like I was in a car accident because, I don't know, like Dodge Ram engine compartment thing. I was like climbing on it and I just... my body hurts. It's a long story. It was a hell of a time getting that thing out, and I'm far from an auto mechanic, but it was easy enough, I guess, conceptually. At least YouTube made it feel that way when I watched a video on it. But today, I want to talk. I already had this idea in my head, and then I actually just finished recording with the podcast that you'll see on Wednesday with Commander Carpenter. But we talked a little bit about like the idea generally of rank as a tool and like kind of how it should be used and I'm thinking about it more as like a the concept of like you get rank for a specific purpose, right? Like the positions that we ascend to over our careers, they exist in the hierarchical like construct that they do and have the assigned authority and responsibilities that they do so that the person in that position can make sure the things that position is responsible for happen, right? But also the authority that comes with it is the authority that you use to like fulfill the responsibilities you have to the people you're charged with leading, right? So as a result of that like train of thought, I guess, I've always viewed rank as a tool, right? And so Teresa and I were discussing a little bit about like why like very senior leadership in the military tend to like not speak out or advocate or like get behind somebody at like kind of like one of the specific examples we used was when Captain Crozier got fired for standing up for his people in regards to COVID treatment and facilities and all the stuff that the sailors on TR needed at the time. And it cost him his career, and that along the way, nobody got behind him and said, no, he did exactly what we should be expecting of our senior leadership and exactly what we should be expecting of our commanding officers. And it was complete bullshit that he got fired. And if you read his book, he talks about, it's called Surf When You Can. Fucking great book. I highly recommend it. I'll put a link in the description, but he discusses like he almost got command of the TR back. Like they were talking to him about it. The admiral that he was working for said he was like, it was happening. And then it just didn't because the CNO would need to like eat crow basically and just be like, yep, we were wrong. We fucked up. He should have never got fired. All of which is true. I mean, at least in my analysis, all that is true. And I think most people feel that way. And then it just didn't happen. And the only reason it didn't happen is because somebody wearing a fucking suit or somebody wearing 4 stars didn't want to have to say they were wrong on national television, which is fucking sad. And I mean, cowardly, if you ask me. But I always wondered to myself kind of why, like the whole point of rank being the tool that it is to advocate for your people, to take care of your people. It's like there are precious few opportunities that happen throughout a military career where it's kind of like you feel like you built to that moment, almost like a moment in a movie or something where you're like, oh, okay, this is where I'm supposed to like take the bullet for my person, my sailor, right? The euphemism we used on the podcast was, this is the hill I'm going to die on, right? I'm going to choose to make my stand here. And if it ends poorly for me, it ends poorly for me, much as Captain Crozier did. And the scale at which that man did it, I mean, he was seconds away from being an admiral. Like, that command leads to a star, and then, so on, right? Depending on how long he decided to continue. But he knew that too. He talks about it in the book. Like, he knew exactly what he was risking by doing what he did, and he did it anyway. And I don't think he regrets it for a second. And I don't think he should. And I found myself in moments like that in my career. Now, obviously not on the same scale, but like, I found myself in moments in my career as a chief where I was like, I was acutely aware that if I decided to do what I thought was right, I also could be risking my ability to promote. And I've talked about it on the podcast a bunch about how I'm still shocked. In this moment right now, I'm still shocked that I retired a Master Chief. I had told people over and over again, I'm going to retire Chief. It's fine. I mean, maybe I accidentally make Senior Chief at some point, but like, I was positive best case scenario was Senior Chief, right? And I figured that would happen like at the very end, if it happened at all. Because I have such a big mouth, because I'm willing to say the quiet part out loud. I challenge people. I advocate for people. I argue with leadership. I tell them they're wrong. And a lot of people don't like that. And I think that I was very fortunate to either be directly working for exactly the right leader that was similar to me, and that would kind of protect and advocate for me and tell me when I was being an idiot. I either directly worked for them or they were like in my orbit, so they were like looking out for me. I forget what they call it in the Peter Principle. It's like a somebody above you. Oh God, it'll come to me. And like a patron, I think is what they call it. I'm pretty sure. And anyway, it's neither here nor there. It's a great book though, Peter Principle. Check it out. So I think I got spectacularly lucky along the way at several different times that the people that were responsible for my promotion, either directly or indirectly, believed in what I was doing and thought what I was doing was the right way to do it. Not everybody did by a lot. Like, those people were in the minority for sure, but in using my rank as a tool the way I believed it should be used, I also believed it was going to harm my career, and I just chose that it was worth it. That at the end of the day, I needed to be able to live with myself and the decisions that I made in caring for my people. And I thought I was doing what was right. And if the military didn't think I was doing what was right, fine, so be it. Like, I'll retire Chief and I'll be totally fine with that. Didn't work out that way. I'm happy it didn't, because my pension's a lot better and because it was really validating to get promoted all the way to Master Chief. But it's kind of neither here nor there either. But using it as a tool and almost as important or more importantly, viewing it as a tool, right? You're given this instrument, right? Like the military, think of it almost like a loaner, right? They're putting you in this position, and in that position, they're loaning you this tool, this authority, this power. It's not permanent. It's not yours to keep. It's just yours to use, right? And the only way that you should be using it is to fulfill the responsibilities that you have to your people, right? How do you do that? Where is it written down how you exercise that authority and use your rank as a tool, right? It's really not, which I've always found puzzling. I went looking for some type of specific job description or duties and responsibilities for a chief petty officer a while back. I've talked about it before. Couldn't really find anything. Ariana found like some occupational standards, but that's not really. It's kind of bullet points and it wasn't really what I was trying to find. I wanted something that really like codified, like this is the general like job description for a chief petty officer, and kind of like this is the authority that you have, and this is like the this is kind of the power that your tool possesses, effectively. Like, that's kind of what I was looking for. And if I've somehow missed it and a listener is rolling their eyes at me, you know, please correct me and shoot it to me in my email. But still to this day, I don't think it exists. At least I haven't been able to find it. And that leaves you to kind of fill that void on your own, right? And I think that's where you see a lot of the you know, I've picked up this term in my study of psychology, but maladaptive behavior, just meaning it's like a behavior that doesn't serve you well. It's like kind of almost like voluntary self-harm, but it's just like a bad habit. But like you pick up maladaptive behaviors in lieu of a proper leadership development curriculum or education, right? In lieu of the military actually like training and qualifying you for the role that they're putting you in, they just don't and put you in it anyway. And then here we are, trying to fill that void on our own. Right. And so that's why the podcast exists. And that's why I always encourage people to continue learning and seek out books and podcasts and YouTube channels and courses like the Foundry and all the, Enlisted Leadership Foundation stuff, and now NLEC ELD out here doing the damn thing. They have the capacity for everyone. I don't know why you're not all leveraging it. I hope the numbers have gotten better since I talked to those guys on a podcast, but not sure. I have to message Toby at some point. But the modalities are out there. The tools that you need to answer that question for yourself exist. You just have to choose to utilize them. And without making this like a 5-hour podcast, just go listen to the other however many episodes I have, and hopefully that'll help. The way in which you choose to do that is going to dictate like the way in which you use that tool and the way in which you understand the capacity that tool has, right? That your rank has to make things happen. And it does. And it's important that you kind of take some time to examine that, to really figure it out, especially first classes and chiefs. Chiefs, like a new chief is probably the craziest one, just because you don't realize how much ability you have to be a catalyst for getting things like to happen for your people by just like picking up the phone, finding the chief that works in adjacent to or runs or whatever the thing that you need, and going, hey man, I need some help with this. And when you're having those chief to chief conversations, like those connections, it's that thing that like I had a listener call it chief magic, like where they've tried, the first class has tried, some officers tried, and then a couple chiefs get on the phone and magically everything's fixed. And it's like, should it work that way? Probably not, but does it work that way? Yeah, kind of. Like, I don't always agree with it exactly, but knowing that that's kind of how that can work and usually does work, know that that's a tool that you have, and that when you're wearing that rank, or when you're just working for a good chief or a chief generally, hopefully they're all, pretty good, that you can go to them and they have that ability as well, right? And that's why people tell you to go ask your chief, right? I know that's not always an attractive option to a lot of people out there, but there are times where you just need that level of authority, right? Like you need to use that. That's the right tool for the job, for however you want to interpret that. Sometimes it just requires that level of a conversation, and there's just things that chiefs can do that other people can't, based on the structure of the hierarchy, right? And the amount of power and authority that the organization has imbued into this rank, right? But also, like, keep in mind that your rank and position, regardless of what we're talking, like wardroom, chiefs, first classes, second classes, third classes, whatever rank that you do have, whatever authority that you do have, you have a sphere of influence, however small, however large, right? And working within that that rank that you have is only a tool, right? I saw a video clip. It was supposed to be a joke of retired officers coming through the gate, and the guy, the sentry walks up, checks his ID, is talking to him, and then just kind of hands his ID back and puts his hands in his pockets and does not salute him because they're a retired officer. It's like, you're not required to salute retired officers. Apparently, some people take umbrage with that and get a little upset. And it's kind of like that. It's like that, whatever that is, that attitude that where people start to believe that they're more important as a result of the position they're filling, that is only temporary, that they're somehow better than as a result of the position or rank that they're filling, which is only temporary. Because let me tell you what, when you retire, nobody gives a fuck. No one cares. And I try to tell people that all the time, because I still get, when people email me or, DM me or whatever, and they're like, Master Chief, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, dude, I'm retired. I'm just a guy doing a podcast. I was a Master Chief. That's a fact. I would for 9 months. I did a job for a long time, but I'm not Master Chief forever. You know what I mean? I'm just a retired guy. DGUTS is fine. If you know my first name, that's fine too. I don't know if people have noticed this. Like, when you email me, I'll get the Master Chief and then the content of the message, and then very respectfully, Petty Officer so-and-so. And I respond with their first name. I'm like, say their first name is Michael. I'm just like, hey, Mike, blah, 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 blah. And then sign it DGUTS, and that's it. I do that intentionally. That's not just like a throwaway thing. Like, that's a thoughtful, purposeful thing that I do. I want to disarm you, and I want to make you feel like you're just talking to a dude that does a podcast. And that's very, if you see me in public, I wanted to say this on a podcast for a while, because I've had some interactions in public where I get the feeling I'm recognized, but people don't talk to me, and I don't understand why. If you see me in public, if I'm on a military base, or I live in a town with lots of military veterans and active duty military, there's a kid who lives across the street from me. We see him at NWs all the time. Just say what's up, man. I'm just a dude. I'll love it. It'll be cool. It'll be fun. We'll talk. Take a picture if you want to. If you're into that, I don't fucking know. I don't really selfie, but I will if you want to. It's cool. I want you to talk to me. If you see me in public, don't be weird. I know I have a resting bitch face sometimes. It's because I don't sleep that well. It's fine. Just say hi. It's cool. I don't mind at all. Especially now that I'm retired. On active duty, I cared, but now, I don't give a fuck. If you see me at the next or whatever, say what's up. Permission granted. It's fine. It's not a big deal. But yeah, it's just you're not that guy. You're not that person anymore when you're no longer in the military. When you separate or retire, you're just a person. If you try to throw your weight around rank wise and you're a retired whatever, you're a retired 06 or you're a retired Master Chief, 0 people give a fuck. 0. And the sentry at the gate doesn't give a fuck. And they're cool. Usually I'll go, "Hi, what's up? Have a good day, Master Chief." I'm like, "Hey, thanks, man." No, yeah. I don't care if they call me Master Chief or if they just say, all right, have a good day. Who cares? I've never cared about that. I've had people, I'll be walking around base and they, the Marines that were on the sub base, they were the security forces guys because ballistic missile submarines, blah, blah, blah. And the Marines would see, it's our patches are stupid, so you can't fucking tell if it's a chief, senior chief, or master chief. So you say, "Good afternoon, chief," and then they get closer and they're like, "Oh, fuck, Master Chief, sorry." I'm like, "Dude, we're all fucking chiefs, calm down." It's not whatever. It's not a big deal. Some people get butthurt about stuff like that. I don't understand why, but some people get butthurt about stuff. It's you clearly misunderstand the assignment. You clearly misunderstand the purpose of rank. And that's kind of why I wanted to talk about it. It's you're a person filling a position that is temporary by definition of just what a military career is. It's temporary, much like everything, much like this mortal coil. It's all temporary. So it's the idea that your identity is tied up in this thing is absurd. It's not healthy. And it's only going to lead to poor leadership performance in that your people are not going to respect you for doing that. And then also some pretty awkward interactions with people that don't give a fuck that you used to be whatever, right? Whatever rank or position. No one cares. No one cares. Like if you get high enough up and you're like a former MCPON or something, yeah, you might get invited to talk at something and they're going to care that MCPON whoever is here. But it's like, if it comes down to it, some E4 in the smoke pit's not going to give a fuck that you're a retired Master Chief or a retired Admiral or a retired anything, because you're a civilian now and you're not in the hierarchy anymore. And so like, let that shit go now, not when you retire. Do it now. Like it doesn't make any sense. And I think one of the single most important like behaviors that I learned and practiced for the majority of the leadership part of my career, so like the second half of my career when I was wearing khakis, was realizing that and then behaving as such, like behaving as like, yes, I do have this rank on my collar and I do have the authority and the power that come with it, but I'm just a dude. I'm just a submariner, just like you. I'm just a sailor, just like you. And I'm going to interact with you just like that until I'm in a position where I'm exercising that power or authority for a valid reason, that whether you interpret it that way or not at the time is only, and this is very important, is only with your best interests in mind. I'm only exercising that power and authority to do something that is in the best interest of you and the mission. End of conversation. Because that's all it's for, right? Like there's going to be times where I'm going to have to kind of spend a little bit, like spend leadership capital. You're not going to like it, but it's critical to mission accomplishment, right? 99.9% of the time, I'm going to be able to do both. I'm going to be able to take care of you and do what's in your best interest and do what's in the mission's best interest. You might not always feel that way, right? The whole give them what they need, not what they want, right? I'd love to do both, but you can't a lot of the time, right? But always, 100% of the time, I will be exercising that authority to accomplish something that is best for you, best for the mission. I try my damnedest to do it in that order because I believe that if I'm doing what's best for you, that is what's best for the mission. Not everybody will agree with that, and that's fine. But yeah, I just wanted to spin one up today and talk about this concept. Talk about like how I did it, or at least tried to do it all the time, and how I believe that people should be doing it, so that you're modeling the behavior that you want out of your people ideally, and then also it's going to be what's in best interests of your people in the mission. It's going to show them the behavior that they should be displaying when they're in that same position. And it'll build trust and credibility in that whole organization as a result, right? And I'm looking at the Chiefs Mess in particular, but Wardroom too, right? Like, you are only going to become more trustworthy and more credible with the people that you're charged with leading when you do it this way, right? When you're willing to show yourself to be in fact human, to be fallible, to be willing to admit when you fuck up, and either apologize if it's appropriate or take responsibility and just say, I'll do better next time, and actually follow through. We talked about that a little bit, me and Teresa. So check that podcast out. It'll be out on Wednesday. Hopefully I should be getting back on the schedule now. I got some interviews in the can. I got a bunch of spinning yards I want to do. I sat down and kind of mapped some stuff out for once, thank God, the other night. I'm starting to use my insomnia time more productively. I got like 4 hours of sleep last night, if you can't tell, but I'm starting to use the time that I'm sleep deprived by, just because my brain fucking hates me. I've started to use a little more productively. I've sat down and like mapped out some stuff, and I've been reading that the book on the USS Summers for the Mutiny episode. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff coming. Very excited for it. If you need anything from us, as always, hit us up. Don't give up the shit podcast at gmail.com. You can Facebook message us. Don't give up the shit podcast. You can DM us on Instagram, Reddit, or Discord at DGUTSpodcast. If you want to support us, you can go to dgutspodcast.com. There's a donate button on the website. Or you can go to dgutsapparel.com. Get yourself some naval pride and heritage gear you'll actually wear in public, stickers, shower shoes, all kinds of cool stuff. And then patreon.com/dgutspodcast. Pick one of the 5 tiers. Become a member today. It's an awesome way to support us. It's very cheap. Like, I'm drinking a nice little chai latte today. That's how much the lowest tier costs. It's just a latte. You're buying me a coffee. I don't even drink coffee. This is tea, but you get my point. All right? I know. I'm sacrilegious. I don't drink fucking coffee. I'm a chief. It's probably why I'm so weird. Who knows? Yeah. Pick one of the 5 tiers, man. $5 tier? Like, come on. I'll even lower it if you need me to. I'll make like a $3 tier. Come on. Let's go. I'm trying to get this business to make money. I'm trying to stay unemployed, but employed. You know what I'm saying? And you know, expanding the platform, paying the bills, it helps. And then if you can't afford to buy me a chai latte, it's only $5. You can just like, share, subscribe, review on all the platforms for all the things. You know, subscribe on YouTube. That's big. I got to get another 300 subscribers to monetize and some more watch hours. So if you can consume the podcast that way, that would help. Just watch it on YouTube instead. I'll upload this today. But yeah, anything you can do like that, you know, review us on iTunes, tag your friends in social media posts, share the reels. That's cool. Sharing the video content helps as well. And it's all free. So that's some of the free things you can do to support us if you want to, or buy me a latte. And that's it. That's what I got for you today. Thank you so much for listening, and don't give up the ship.
Please hit the like button, drop a comment down below on what you thought, and subscribe to the channel.